In this video, we're going to cover all the different WordPress settings that you might need to set up for your site and that you might come across as you go along. Having a good understanding of the settings will help you tweak those little things and help you find the right options when you're looking for them later on as you go and build your site. Here in the WordPress dashboard, you can always get to your settings by clicking on the Settings button. Now, Settings has quite a lot of settings that you can go through, but we're just going to go over some of the major ones that you might want to know about. So we'll start with General Settings. General settings at the top, you can change your site title and the description, the tagline for your site there if you like to. This is the WordPress URL and domains. It's not suggested that you mess with this. That could actually break your site. As an email address that your admin emails might go to. Here's membership for your site. We would suggest you don't tick that one on just because spammers might be able to get into your site and, well, add lots of spam. Here, if you add new users to your WordPress site, we'll be able to access, we'll give them different roles. If we leave it on subscriber, that's the lowest level of permissions for any new users that you might add to your site, and then you can always upgrade people's permission as they come and join your site. We might look at adding users in just a bit. There's the site language and the time zone, so you can change it from English to all kinds of stuff. If we wanted to have a UK English, you'd tick that one there. Set your time zone. We can set the way the date's displayed, time format, when the week starts, all those sorts of things. With any of the settings pages, whenever you finish changing a setting, you want to make sure that you click Save Changes, and that's for each settings page that you go through. So the next thing we'll look at is our writing settings. Here you can change what the default post category is, that whenever you create a new post, where they go. Again, default option in WordPress is uncategorized, but you might set up a new category that is sort of a catch-all for all your posts and set it there. You can have a sort of post format, probably best as standard, just as you're starting to get to know WordPress. You could post via emails. That's not something that we sort of explore in great detail, but if you could, you can go and have a look and set that up for yourself. And that's just some of the basic writing settings. So if we go next to reading settings, we saw this page briefly when we changed the homepage of our website from our latest post to a static page. If I wanted to, I could change that back anytime. It doesn't really affect much. And we might change how many posts are displayed at one time. So instead of 10 posts, I might want to only show 5. Syndication feeds we'll cover in a different video, but you can leave that as is. And if I am showing blog posts on my homepage, I probably won't want the full text. Instead, I'm just going to select to show a summary. While you're building your site, you might want to tick this one to discourage search engines from seeing it and displaying it to public users. Your site is still public, but search engines won't know about it necessarily. You can leave that on or off. It's really up to you. We'll click to save changes. So we're in the discussion settings page of WordPress. Now, this is all to do with commenting and how people interact and engage with the stuff that you've put out on your WordPress website. This first setting here, the default article settings, is to do with whether or not you want comments to be on your site. By default, this is actually ticked on to allow people to leave comments on new articles. If you don't want any comments on your blog posts, you could always deselect that so nobody can leave any comments. This just affects the new articles that you produce after you've ticked or unticked that box. And then there's all other sorts of comment settings down here, just really to do with how easy or difficult it is for new users to leave a comment on your site. You can also select here for notifications, whether you want to be notified by email if people do comment on your blog or if a comment needs to be moderated. Speaking of comment moderation, you can use these two boxes here. The first one, you can type in certain words where things will automatically be moderated for your approval if any of those words get mentioned in the blog post, or in the comments rather. And then you can also have a comment blacklist where things will be deleted automatically if a certain word is used, maybe offensive words or something like that. Finally, whenever people leave a comment on WordPress, it usually has a picture appearing right next to it. That's called their avatar. So you could decide whether or not you want to have the avatars at all. If you do, then you can select the kind of rating, what avatars are appropriate to be seen on your site, and then you can select the format for the different available avatars just there. And yeah, that is the whole section on avatars. So we'll go ahead and save those changes by clicking the big Save Changes button. There's all kinds of settings that you can look through and play with here. We'll just do one more for permalinks. Now, permalinks are how new posts will appear in the URL, how people navigate to the new posts that you write. You can use any of these settings that you like. A quite common one is to change this to post name. So anything that you name the post will appear after your URL, and then just slash the name of your post. So that's quite a common way to do it. It's not bad. Custom structure is also quite good because this is something that you can adapt and change and make it whatever you like. So if we just clear that out, we can build our own custom structure. So say we wanted the URL for every post to start with the date that the post came out. So we can put that by maybe putting in the month and the day, and then we could even after that put the post name. And we've just built a custom structure for how new posts appear in the URL on your website. So really up to you. For me, I quite often just go with the post name, and we'll save those changes there. And that is it for all of the major settings in WordPress. Again, it's always worth just having a little look through these and seeing what they are. If you're confused by any of those, you can always go to the WordPress support page and get more information on how all those are. You can never go wrong with having the default settings left as is, though, just as a starting point. And that is looking at WordPress settings.